Have you ever let a flash of anger derail your entire day? A sharp word, a thoughtless slight, and suddenly your emotions take over, leaving you off balance and saying things you later regret. Why does anger make us feel so out of control? More importantly, how do we reclaim that control? The Stoics believed your mind, not others or circumstances, is the true battlefield. They taught that real strength isn't in shouting louder, but in choosing not to react. Opt for calm over chaos, refusing to surrender your peace to those who don't deserve it. This video will show you how to never let anger or frustration control you again, not by suppressing emotions, but by transforming how you respond. You'll master proven Stoic techniques to pause before reacting, detach from pointless triggers, and command your emotions like a seasoned leader of your mind. Struggling with anger isn't a flaw, it's human. Every professional faces frustration and disrespect, but few rise above it. This is your moment to change that. If you're exhausted from being ruled by emotions, this is for you. Like the video, subscribe for more Stoic strategies, and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their calm. Because when you embrace Stoicism, you don't just control anger, you become unshakable, and that changes everything. Start by seeing emotional outbursts as habits you can unlearn. You weren't born angry. You weren't born snapping at colleagues, slamming doors, or replaying tense meetings for hours. Those reactions, which now feel instinctive, were learned over years of stress, pride, and a world telling men to be tough, loud, and dominant. But true strength isn't noise, it's silence. The kind that radiates control. The most powerful person in the room doesn't flinch, doesn't snap back, and doesn't let small slights steal their inner peace. Anger isn't just an emotion, it's a habit. Like any habit, it can be broken. But first, you must see it for what it is. A chain reaction you keep fueling by giving it power. A reckless driver cuts you off. Your boss belittles you in a meeting. Your partner snaps with a cutting remark. And before you can think, your mouth fires back. It's a vicious cycle. Most professionals stay trapped in it their whole careers, believing it's just who they are. But the Stoics saw it differently. They didn't view anger as part of your character. They saw it as a weakness masquerading as strength. Epictetus said, "Anyone who can be provoked to anger is enslaved by it." Harsh, but true. When you react blindly, you hand your power to the trigger. You become predictable, manipulable, and emotionally drained. Now, picture this. You're stuck in line at the DMV for over an hour. Someone boldly cuts in front of you. Anger surges. Your chest tightens. Jaw clenches. Words ready to fly. That moment is your battlefield. You can fight the same losing war you always have. Or pause and ask one simple question. Will anger make this better? You know the answer. You've lost your temper before. What did it gain? More stress, regret, and distance from the professional you're striving to be. This is where Stoicism shifts everything. You don't need to suppress emotions. You need to step outside them. Observe your emotions like clouds drifting across the sky. Acknowledge them, but don't let them steer you. Your rational mind is the driver. That's the discipline the Stoics honed. Most professionals believe their anger is justified, a sign they care deeply. But calm isn't weakness or indifference. It's the ultimate strength. Anyone can lash out, that's easy. What takes real discipline? Maturity. And grit is staying composed when the world tries to shake you. When someone disrespects you and you don't let it show, that's true dominance. When life throws chaos and you stand firm, that's control. So, the next time anger flares, what will you do? Pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, this anger is a habit I can release. Then walk away, not out of weakness, but because you're strong enough to not waste energy on what doesn't matter. You're not here to be provoked. You're here to reclaim your power. That starts not with the world changing, but with you responding differently. Act grown, like a man who masters his mind. Respond like a Stoic. Second, focus on controlling yourself, not others. It's tempting to snap, yell, or storm out when slighted. That's what most professionals do when they feel attacked. They react to regain some sense of power. But that power is fleeting. It flares up fast, fades just as quickly, and leaves you feeling weaker. True control comes from mastering yourself in the heat of the moment, not overpowering others. Anger tricks you into thinking silence is surrender, that if you don't push back harder, you're weak. But reflect on this. How often has anger actually solved anything? You shout. They shout louder. You prove your point but lose a connection. You win the argument but lose sleep over what you said. In the end, you're drained because you were never in control. You were just reacting. Now imagine you're in a boardroom. Your manager unfairly criticizes your idea in front of the team, dripping with arrogance. The urge to fight back surges, but something stops you. A quiet voice inside says, reacting now will make it worse. So you pause, breathe, and say, thank you for the feedback. I'll review it. Then you move on. Later, in private, you address it with clarity, not emotion. That's self-mastery. That's strength. That's Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoics didn't let ego drive them. They chose controlled responses over chaos. They knew what many professionals miss: trying to control others is a losing game. What you can always control is how you choose to show up. Many men think silence is weakness, that walking away diminishes their stature. But recall the last time someone lost their temper in front of you. Did you respect them more? Or did they lose credibility? Anger shouts, but respect whispers. When you stay calm under provocation, you become untouchable, and that unsettles others far more than shouting ever could. Stoicism doesn't mean you never speak up. It means you choose when and how, not driven by anger. By delaying your reaction, letting emotions settle, you create space for wisdom and make decisions that preserve your dignity. When someone disrespects you, don't take the bait. They may act petty, but you remain steadfast, not because you fear reacting, but because you choose not to be swept into their storm. You rise above, not for them, but for yourself. That's true control. It's not about who gets the last word, but who keeps their composure to the end. Start today. Don't try to control the room. Control your breath, your words, your presence. You'll walk away from every conflict with something most lack: untarnished dignity. A victory no one can take. Third, build calm like a muscle through daily practice. You can't expect to stay composed in chaos. if you've never trained for calm. Most professionals overlook this. They wait until they're angry or overwhelmed to try controlling themselves. But emotional strength isn't summoned on demand. It's forged and cultivated. It's built in quiet moments when no one's watching. Just as your body needs consistent exercise to grow strong, your mind needs daily discipline to stand firm under pressure. Self-mastery isn't a switch. It's a skill you sharpen over time. Picture a man who's never lifted weights, trying to bench 300 pounds. He'll fail. Your emotions work the same way. If you haven't practiced pausing, breathing, or sitting with discomfort instead of reacting, you'll crumble when life hits hard, not because you're weak, but because you're untrained. Now imagine coming home after a long day. Your kid spills juice on your laptop. The instinct to snap flares up, but something's different. You've trained for this. Instead of reacting, you pause, breathe, and say, "Let's clean it up." That moment is small but powerful. It's strength in action. Stoicism isn't for monks on mountaintops. It's built for real life, for leaders, workers, parents, those surrounded by pressure, noise, and conflict. It teaches that peace doesn't come from isolation, but from training your mind to stay steady in the storm. It starts with the smallest acts. Wake up early to reflect. Journal your thoughts before bed. Choose silence over sarcasm when provoked. These aren't empty rituals. They're exercises for your soul. Most professionals wait for a crisis to prove they're calm. But you must prepare beforehand, building habits to sharpen focus and deepen awareness. Because when pressure hits, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your level of training. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily about what challenged him and how to respond better tomorrow, not out of weakness, but to grow stronger. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that discipline starts not with grand gestures, but with mastering daily thoughts and emotions. They practiced calm as a habit, not a fleeting reaction. If you want to stop being the person who snaps when things go wrong, become the one who prepares before they do. Sit with discomfort instead of chasing distractions. Notice your breath when you're tempted to lash out. Reflect for 5 minutes at day's end. These aren't trivial acts, they're emotional weightlifting. No one is born a stoic, but through persistence and practice, you become unshakable. Calm is built like any skill, through effort and time. Don't wait for the world to test you. Challenge yourself daily. The person who trains their mind in quiet moments will triumph when chaos strikes. Fourth, let go of what doesn't serve you. You've planned your day perfectly, Jim. Work. Focus. Then, traffic jams hit. A meeting gets cancelled last minute. Your boss dumps extra work without warning. Frustration surges not because of the events, but because you resist them. You're not angry that things changed. You're angry because you expected them to stay the same. The world doesn't care about your schedule. Life shifts without asking permission. The more you cling to how things should be, the more you suffer. That's not weakness, it's attachment. Unchecked, it becomes a trap. A professional who needs everything perfect to stay calm will never find peace. Letting go isn't giving up, it's recognizing what's not worth holding on to. It's distinguishing between what you can control and what you can't. The Stoics mastered this, refusing to waste energy on traffic, rude people, or derailed planes. They focused on what they could shape their character, mindset, and reactions. When something disrupts your day, Don't react impulsively. Step back. Ask, is this in my control? If not, don't fuel it with your attention. Let it pass like a storm cloud. You're not ignoring it. You're choosing not to be consumed. That's not denial. It's discipline. Many professionals think control means forcing the world to bend to their will. But true control is adaptability. Power isn't making the world obey. It's staying composed when it doesn't. Stoicism isn't passive. It's precise. It's not about caring less, but about stopping the waste of energy on what can't be changed. Imagine you're in a parking lot. A stranger backs into your car, leaving a dent, then shrugs it off. You want to explode, demand justice. But after the initial surge, you pause. Ask, will anger undo the dent? Will it make them care? No. So you handle it calmly, preserving your energy. You drive away, not just with a dented bumper, but with your dignity intact. That's conduct. That's victory. Not because you let them off, but because you didn't lose anything beyond metal. They didn't take your peace, your sleep, or your strength. You kept those, because you let go of what wasn't worth holding. Stoic strength isn't loud, it's in the release. In that release, you find true control. Start asking yourself regularly, is this worth carrying in my mind? If not, let it go. A professional who chooses what to hold and what to release stays unburdened by every storm. He walks through chaos with clarity, composure, and unshakable resolve. Fifth, turn conflict into a test of your character. You can't avoid conflict, not while working, leading, or building something meaningful. Someone will challenge you, misunderstand you, or push your limits. That's life. But most professionals react to conflict emotionally, seeing it as a threat to their pride. A moment to win or prove something. They tense up, raise their voice, and try to dominate. In doing so, they miss the true nature of conflict. It's not a threat to your power, but a mirror reflecting it. Conflict reveals where you're still not in control, where ego still pulls the strings. The Stoics saw every confrontation, insult, or injustice, not as a problem, but as a chance to practice. They believed life offers endless opportunities to sharpen your mind by refusing to be dragged down by noise. Imagine you're at a hardware store checkout. You're waiting patiently when someone behind you steps forward, waving their receipt, demanding service first. They're loud, and eyes turn to you. Your pulse quickens, jaw tightens, ready to snap. But you don't. Instead, you step back inwardly. You ask, what's really at stake here? My time, my pride, or my inner peace? In that moment, you choose to rise above, not cave in. That's not weakness, it's disciplined strength, the kind that commands respect without a word. Many professionals mistake calm for surrender. Thinking, not reacting, means letting others walk over you. But letting emotions rule is the real loss of control. A Stoic doesn't dodge conflict. He just doesn't let it steer him. He speaks when needed, with clarity, not fire. Knowing the worst thing isn't being disrespected, it's stooping to that level. The more you treat challenges as tests of who controls the moment, not who's right, the stronger you become. Conflict transforms from a battlefield into a training ground. You stop wasting energy on petty arguments and refuse to let small people shrink your world. Marcus Aurelius lived this way. ruling an empire amid betrayal and war, yet staying calm. He didn't chase revenge, but pursued integrity, seeing every encounter as a chance to practice self-mastery, not just occasionally, but daily. Men who live this way don't just navigate conflict, they emerge from it unchanged, unharmed. So, next time someone provokes you, try this. Instead of snapping back, pause. Instead of proving a point, protect your energy. Instead of letting their chaos become yours, be the calm they can't reach. Not to impress, not to be liked, but because you've trained to rise above what's unworthy. You're not here to react to every slight. You're here to sharpen your character. Each conflict is a chance to do just that. Respond with mastery. That's how you win. Every time you choose this path, you prove something greater than dominance. You've conquered the toughest battlefield yourself. Sixth, live in the present. Because it's your imagination that fuels anger. It's not the moment that enrages you, but your mind racing 10 steps ahead or replaying 10 steps back. You're not upset by what's said, but by what you think it means, what might happen next, or what it says about you. That mental noise is the root of most of your frustration. Until you learn to stop living in the past or future, you'll lose control in the only moment that matters. Professionals rarely admit this, but it happens constantly. A driver cuts you off a 3-second annoyance, yet your mind replays it for 30 minutes, imagining confrontations, shouting matches, or proving who's in charge. You carry that weight into your next call, meeting, or dinner. The moment's gone, but your mind chains you to it. That's how small things become heavy burdens you haven't learned to let go in the moment. Stoicism cuts through that noise like a blade. It reminds you that you only have now, no insults, no imagined outcomes, no past to fix, just your breath, your actions, your choices. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to return to the present whenever his thoughts wandered. He'd say, "You could leave life right now. Let that guide what you do, say, and think. Not tomorrow, not after winning an argument right now." The trap is believing your thoughts are truth. Just because you think it doesn't make it real. Most of what you react to is fiction-imagined enemies. Arguments that never happen. Picture walking into a tense meeting with someone you don't like. You're braced for conflict, expecting disrespect. That tension isn't from their words, it's from the future you've built in your head. Stop. Return to now. They might be rude, or they might not. Either way, you'll handle it better, with a clear mind. That's why mindfulness isn't just spiritual fluff, it's a tactical edge. It keeps your head clear when instincts crave chaos. You don't need hours of meditation. Just notice your breath, your posture, the sounds around you, the ground beneath your feet. Pull your mind back when it spins stories. Train it like a muscle to stay here. Now, when you do, you stop overreacting to things that haven't happened. You stop reliving what can't be changed. You stop rehearsing what doesn't need saying. You respond from presence, not anxiety or fear. That's where your strength lies. You can't control the past or the future, but you can master the present in just a few breaths. You're not just practicing Stoicism, you're living freely. That's a power no one can take. Seventh, release resentment before it ages you. Resentment doesn't just poison your mind, it wears down your body. You've seen it, a professional who looks exhausted despite rest, who carries a weight despite no physical burden, who flinches at kindness because betrayal feels familiar. That weight isn't physical, it's emotional. Holding on to anger, blame, or bitterness drains your energy, clarity, and ability to live lightly. Most don't even notice it happening. They think they've moved on because they stay silent. But silence isn't healing. Just because you don't speak it doesn't mean it's not shaping your words, your trust, your life. The grudge from years ago still sits on your shoulders, stealing your sleep. It's why you snap quickly when someone brushes your boundaries. The Stoics saw forgiveness not as a moral duty, but as self-preservation. Letting go isn't about excusing what happened. It's refusing to let it control you. Every bit of resentment you hold robs your present peace. No one, not even those who hurt you, deserves that power over your life. Epictetus said, "You may chain my feet, but no one, not even Zeus, can chain my will." Forgiveness is that freedom, not accepting or forgetting, but refusing to be shackled inside. Recall a time someone crossed you, lied, walked away, or shamed you publicly. You vowed never to forget, and maybe you haven't, but every time you replay it, your stomach knots, your energy fades, your peace slips away. That's not strength, it's self-inflicted pain. You're reliving their wrong while they've long moved on. That's the trap. Thinking holding on protects you when it weakens you. The Stoics didn't see anger as armor. They dropped it like a burning coal, knowing it scorches the holder most. Forgiveness doesn't mean trusting them again. It's clearing space in your mind for something better, lighter. It starts with a choice. Stop feeding the story of their wrong. Each time you replay the hurt, you deepen the wound. So don't rehearse the pain, protect your energy instead. You're in the break room. Someone tosses a snide remark. You know it's a jab. You could fire back, carry it home, vent to a friend. Let it churn in your mind until midnight. Or you can smile, not from weakness, but because you refuse to carry their baggage. You breathe deeply, step away, and leave the weight behind. That's not passivity, it's controlled strength. Knowing what's worth your energy and what isn't. When you release resentment, you'll feel it in your stride, your sleep, your clarity of thought. Forgiveness isn't a gift to them, it's a gift to yourself. Let go, not for their sake, but to stop dragging the past into your present. Your future is longer than your past. Make room for it. A professional who lives lightly, walks faster, breathes deeper, and thrives freely. You can become that professional if you choose to release the burdens. Pause for a second before reacting. It changes everything. One comment, one tone, one offhand remark, and you're halfway to raising your voice or slamming the door. By the time you realize you're angry, the reaction has taken over. That's how most professionals operate, on autopilot, triggered by external slights, pulled by internal stress. But in that fleeting moment between the spark and the flame, you can seize control. Stoicism begins in that pause, the space between what happens and how you choose to act next. That's the real battlefield, not the argument or the insult. It's in that breath, that tiny window where you decide, do I react as always, or respond as the leader I aim to be? Most don't see this space. Emotions outrun awareness, but once you notice it, you realize how much power you've been giving away. Imagine you're at home. Your teenage son talks back with a sharp tone, a look that stings. You're ready to snap, but something holds you back. You take a breath and say, "I'll respond in a moment." That choice is power, not silence from fear, but deliberative restraint. You've just broken a cycle that repeats in countless homes, and now you're forging a new one. The mistake is thinking a quick reaction earns respect. That hesitation signals weakness. But those 2 seconds of pause give you clarity, time to process, decide, and act with purpose. That's what the Stoics trained for, not to erase emotions, but to master their timing. Marcus Aurelius didn't say don't feel. He said don't act unless it serves a greater purpose. And that purpose often starts with silence. In a world that demands instant replies, quick defenses, and immediate comebacks, discipline isn't about speed, it's about precision. It's saying the right thing at the right time with the right tone. You can't do that if adrenaline speaks first. Pause. Breathe. Name the emotion before it becomes regret. No need for years of meditation, just one choice when pressure hits. Tell yourself, I don't need to react yet. Step away. Take 10 deep breaths. Ask, what outcome do I want? Then, and only then, speak or act not from ego, but from will. A Stoic isn't cold. He's clear, not slow, but steady. He doesn't suppress emotions, he directs them with purpose. In that pause, he sees clearly the consequences, the opportunities. He steps into both with a steady hand. From now on, treat every tense moment as your training ground. When your heart races, face flushes, or fists clench, don't act yet. Let the moment settle. Then choose how to master it. Because the professional who masters the pause doesn't just win arguments, he conquers himself. And that's a victory worth choosing again and again. Now you see, you're not a prisoner of your emotions, not bound by anger, resentment, or the need to react. What the Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, lived by is that calm isn't a gift, it's earned through discipline. Self-control isn't about denying emotions, but mastering them. Peace isn't weakness, it's strength forged in silence. We've explored how anger is a habit you can break, how true power lies in self-mastery, and how emotional resilience is built through daily choices. You've seen that letting go isn't defeat, but wisdom. Staying present is your strongest defense against stress. And every tense moment offers a chance to forge your character. This isn't theory, it's your life. It shows in how you handle colleagues, stand firm in meetings, and rise above chaos to hold your values. Every moment is a chance to practice. The more you train, the more natural it becomes. That's how you become unshakable, unmoved by trivial triggers. I challenge you to start today. Master your breath, guard your words, own the pause, and build a mind that no external force can rattle. If this resonates, share your story in the comments. What recent moment tested you? What did you learn by holding back? We grow by reflecting and help others by sharing. Because, ultimately, the professional who masters their thoughts, reactions, and energy masters their life. That's the enduring strength of Stoicism.